Hello, everyone, and thank you. This is actually my kitchen, which is a much better place to get Wi-Fi access, but sorry for the background. My office looks better. So we have been using interactive whiteboard softwares since the early 2000s. And I think nobody can imagine our lessons without them. I think we all try to get the best books, the most updated versions, the best interactive whiteboard software. And I keep telling my students that these days it takes a village to produce an English language coursebook, or what we call these days a materials pack. The question is, why do we use material that is digital as well as the paper-based one? For sure, it doesn't save any money, or it wouldn't if schools had to pay for the interactive whiteboard software. As things are, we don't pay. I don't think that Dorothy would be very happy for that. I mean, Dorothy Zimach and her IATEFL presentation 2 years ago. So a lot of positive attributes have been associated with interactive board software. First of all, it has been related with greater learning potential and with increasing what teachers can do for their learners even before the lesson starts. So first of all, instructional effectiveness is one of them. And also it kind of unifies everything. As a trainee teacher, I used to think that the most unrealistic thing I did before an assessed presentation, an assessed lesson, an observed lesson, would be to prepare everything and even blue tack some of the things on my desk so that I wouldn't lose them. Like if I missed a CD, I wouldn't open the door and shout out and get it, but that would not be an assessed lesson. These days, we don't have to worry about these things. If the people have done their job, the designers have done their job, and if we have done our preparation, everything is there. Even the information that we have for us, or extra notes, and it could be flashcards, a direct access to the internet, and many other things. So in a way, this tool allows us to plan and cater for diverse needs in our classrooms. And this way we can do more for more students and help them learn the way they want to learn. Obviously, this is more motivating for them, and it allows them to get a better grip of the material as we present it. So one might say, so why are we here? Why are you worried about those interactive whiteboard software things? I'll tell you why. I feel that as one thing goes up, another thing goes down. And what scares me is the de-skilling of the educator. What I'm afraid of is that we are becoming lazy on the one hand. We expect a lot of work from the publishers. We expect a lot of material to have been perfect, and we expect very little to be done by us so that we can tailor-make the work that the materials developer has done for the needs of our class. And also we kind of become unable, as the time passes, to put the limits between our work and the work that the material developer has done. I'll give you an example. Very often we see very exciting animations, even very exciting games. For example, games like memory with vocabulary, and the students get to reset the different tiles. So you get 3 or 4 or 5 games with the same vocabulary. Amazingly difficult to do if we had to use just the cards. The problem is, especially when it comes with animation of the material that is supposed to be the presentation of structures and lexes, do teachers see what they have done and what the material developer has done? So sometimes I try to evaluate my own classes by thinking, if I had electricity, if I had to teach this class without the interactive whiteboard software and I had no clicking, what would happen? Another problem is that, unfortunately, the computer takes over. In my school, we don't have screens, which accounts for my problem with my neck. I keep teaching like this. But the thing is, okay, I don't have a screen in front of me, but if I ask the students to use clickers, if I ask them to use immediate response systems and use their mobile phones, they'll be excited. Of course they will be. But don't I isolate them? Don't I kind of replicate what they go through at home? They have a screen and then another screen, the television and the tablet, and they play games and watch TV, or they listen to music and play games. Plus, a lot of stimuli at the same time without adequate planning might prove to be a bit disruptive for certain students. Finally, who sets the pace? I know that interactive whiteboard softwares and in general technology has been related with effective teaching. Personally, I believe that what we should look at is what effective teaching is. It's not the matter of the interactive board or the interactive board software or technology, because it has to do with very human qualities such as knowledge, professionalism, common sense, the delivery and the pace of delivery. The whiteboard sometimes functions as a great tool, and some other times it could be really stressful for some learners, because I might start explaining things in a rush and I might be rushing through answers, and they become in a way passive and they do not learn. So the next thing that I would like us to consider is this side of teaching. Perhaps if we stop using teachers at all, teaching might become a little bit more computer-based, and then we will have managed to take us out of the equation. That would be financially sound, because teachers cost after all. I would say that what we need to do is not abolish technology. We are the luckiest generation of teachers ever. What we need to do is not choose between technology or not technology. It's the same kind of judicious use that we use with television. What we apply with Facebook, personally, I on all my social media when I have a lot of writing or a lot of focused work to do. There are other kinds of tasks that I could potentially do while actually having my social media on. That's what we should do. If you noticed before the slide that I showed you with the professional, the effective teacher knows when to use the tools. Something that is on every single minute of a 90-minute class, A, burns the lamp, B, gives the teacher a headache, C, creates no impression, makes no difference whatsoever. So personally, what I want to see what the IWB software adds to my class. I want to get more training in how to use those folders to add my own material. Then again, I have to think whether if every teacher used those, let's say, folders where we can store our own adapted version of the material, if those softwares and the whiteboards in our classrooms would be able to fit, and how much that would affect their memory and their capacity. The fact that we have no problems with that is because nobody uses those folders. We just prepare a separate folder, a separate PowerPoint on our memory, not on the memory of the software. Also, we need to stop kowtowing in front of technology. What we need is to evaluate the digital material separately. How easy is it to navigate? How standardized it is? Does it allow me to manipulate my visuals, to show those pictures, huge pictures, and make sure that I can break out the reading and do the things that I would do by chopping down the text? Does it allow me to remove phrases from the writing and play with topic sentences and paragraph structure? All these would be additional features to the paper-based material. That's what I'm looking for. My class should be text flex. And while teaching, I have to switch on the whiteboard from time to time and go back, because our students face problems taking notes, understanding what needs to be kept and what needs to be thrown out, what is part of the main point and what is an example. Therefore, I like using paper. I like using Post-it notes, different kinds of cardboard paper, unlined paper probably, and preferably, so that I can have the linearity of their brain and help them become more creative when they jot down things and when they take notes. I would say that educational effectiveness is not dependent on one factor. It's more than one. And what I would like to stress in this presentation is that it's too late to be impressed by selfies. That was the thing of the past. So what impresses me right now when I look at the software is how much independence it gives me and how much it teaches me and it trains me to teach autonomously without having to rely on it for extra support, extra notes, and let's say a kind of crutch, which is going to keep my students amused, quote unquote. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to all the speakers from every possible corner of Greece for joining Tiso Macedonia, Thrace, Northern Greece. And thank you to everybody from abroad that joined us.